Greetings and salutations all, I.S. Anderson here once again. I have mentioned before in other videos that I am an author. Yes, I am the author of these 3 books. And I have mentioned them before, but I've never actually talked to them, or at least not based a whole video off of them. So I figured today what I would do is I would talk a little bit about my own books. The name of my series is Modern Disciples, and it is based around 6 characters, each of which happens to be the direct descendant of an ancient deity. Now, these ancient deities aren't just from the Greek pantheon, one is, but the others are from Norse, Japanese, Aztec, Egyptian, and Hindu religions, or mythologies, I should say. So in my world, the people that are direct descendants of gods are not called demigods or half-breeds or anything like that. They're called disciples. And it's a contemporary fantasy, meaning it takes place in our own world, in modern times, so hence the name Modern Disciples. Now, the general plot of the entire series is that the Titans, who were imprisoned by the gods, long ago, have recently freed themselves from their imprisonment. Not exactly sure how it happened, but they've been freed from their imprisonment, and now the gods are worried that they're going to try and do something and take over the world. And the Titans are releasing their spawn on the Earth, which is basically, creatures from different types of mythologies. Spawn, it's not just stuff from Greek mythology, though. I mean, there's also things like dark elves, that's from Norse mythology. There's Tengu that come into play, that's from Japanese mythology, and different things like that. And the Titans use their spawn to influence events in the humans and, the mortals' lives, and they basically try to influence them. And by doing this, they'll gain power. And so what the gods want to do is prevent that from happening. So they tap their disciples in order to carry out missions in order to thwart these things. Now, when I say Titans, you're probably thinking of things like Kronos and Gaia, basically the Titans from Greek mythology. And those are, some major players in there, but they're not just strictly from Greek mythology. Titans refer to any primordial beings that came before the gods that are generally agents of chaos. A good example of a Titan that's not a Titan from the Greek mythology that the disciples encounter is, I'm not going to give the name right now, but it's basically the primordial darkness that existed before all else. It actually is a living entity, and it is given personification, if you will, in the 3rd story, and that is, the force that the disciples have to thwart, as it would be. Now, I write in 3rd-person perspective, and I do primarily Now, I do write in 3rd-person perspective, and the stories are told primarily from only one character. However, for each volume, for each new book, for each new book, I change the perspective of each character. Like the 1st book is told from one of the men's perspective, the 2nd book is told from one of the women's perspective, 3rd book is told from another woman's perspective, and it keeps going on like that. So let's talk a bit about the main characters of the story. The first one I want to talk about is named Ryan Hunter. He is actually the son of Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt and the moon. Ryan is the leader of the group. He's a little bit different from most leaders of groups. I mean, he's not the straight man. He does act a bit cocky. He does come off like a jerk sometimes, and he can be a bit crass sometimes in and of his decisions, but he does play the diplomat when he needs to. Try to think of like Hook from Once Upon a Time, only with a bow instead of a hook, and without the accent and cleaner shave. The next is named Jane Daughter, and she happens to be the daughter of Freya, Norse goddess of women and all that. I guess when you consider her, you could try to think of Anna from Frozen, only with a sword and a bit more sexualized. 3rd member of the group is named Lisa Makoto. She happens to be the daughter of Izanagi, the Shinto deity of the sky, the Japanese gods. She's the strong person of the group, and she fights with a katana blade, of course. Try to think of like Blood the Last Vampire, only not a vampire and able to wield lightning. Fourth member of the group is named Armand Perez. He is the son of an Aztec goddess named Tlazolteotl, who happens to be the Aztec goddess of filth. He has the ability to make people to confess to what they don't want to confess to, and also he has power over the earth. And to describe him, he likes to wear nice suits and, always has his hair coiffed and all that stuff. Think of a cross between Antonio Banderas and Fabio. Next we have Angie Niles, the daughter of Anubis, who also happens to be an assistant district attorney in New York. I mean, of course, she leaves New York to go on missions with the disciples. But she, she's a soft-spoken person, but she has powers over the dead and all that stuff. So when you try to envision her, just think of a soft-spoken Middle Eastern woman with a scythe in one hand and a gun in the other, and turning dead people into mummies. And last but not least, we have Sajad, who happens to be a son of Ganesh, the elephant-headed god, who's the god of obstacles and luck and what have you. No last name, just Sajad. Let's see, who would I compare him to? Try to think of Kuthar from The Big Bang Theory, only he has Sheldon's ability to just, spout out useless knowledge, like Sheldon does. And he also has power over fire, which is pretty cool. And that is the series of Modern Disciples in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you want me to talk about these books more in depth, go ahead and leave a comment letting me know that you want to do that, and I can go ahead and do that. And pertinent contact information is always down below. If you want to check these books out yourself, there is a direct link to how to buy them on Amazon. They are available Kindle, paperback, and they're also available on the Nook, just in case you don't have a Kindle but you have a Nook instead. All right, and please comment, rate, subscribe. You know the drill. And until next time, this is I.S. Anderson telling everybody, make your lives grand and have a good day. Thank you very much.